Welcome, Forever Family, and welcome to our May Product Power Hour. We are so excited that you're here with us. I'm Pam Swartzentruber, the Director of Global Marketing, and a woman that needs no introduction, our VP of Product Development, Holly Stout. Welcome.
Thank you, Pam. Hello, Forever Family. I'm so excited to be with you. You know, it's been a great month full of so much activity, but today we get to talk about a brand new product launch. And I loved it, Pam, when you and I did our very first Product Power Hour and you interviewed me. I felt like it was a great synergy. And as you know, in product development, we work so closely hand in hand with marketing to tell the story, to get all of those beautiful photography, all of the elements that support our FBOs as they grow their business. So I'm really glad to be back with you.
Yes, it's going to be a fun show today, so we're excited. And I think we have a new tradition that we've been doing.
We do. Yeah. In fact, we have had a challenge at home office, and I believe that even our president, Aiden O'Hare, has issued this challenge globally, and that's to consume more aloe. And Pam, I'm sure you're aware, I actually went through about a 30-day trial where I increased my aloe to 1 liter a day and saw remarkable individual benefits. And so because of that, I really do believe that aloe is the key to everything we do. And so we're always going to start any sort of product trainings with a little toast, just so that our FBOs can enjoy with us. And if you have your aloe at home, go ahead and grab some.
Yes.
We're going to toast with our aloe vera. So we're going to have our little 330s here. We're going to crack them open. Cheers to you.
Oh, crack it open there. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Here we go.
So refreshing.
So, you know, it's as if you slice the leaf open and you're drinking directly from the leaf. That is so much power, and no other company does that. So right there, we could stop right there. And why forever? Because of aloe vera.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the main event we're talking about today, our Logic by Forever launch. We just had at Rally.
In Paris, right? What an amazing event, Pam. Your team, the events team, and all of our FBOs came together, and we celebrated in the biggest way. For me, it's a really special event because this is when I get to reveal to the world what our team has been behind the scenes working on for up to 3 years. So there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into these products. And this year we launched Logic by Forever, which is a really special and unique product system that we've never really had in the Forever family before. So it was a great event and it was well received. In fact, I believe we sold out of just about everything when we were at the store, and sales around the world are showing that our FBOs love it. But let's talk about some details. Let's go into a deep dive so that they can really understand these products.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are curious, the science just behind development, what's behind the scenes, what goes into developing products like these.
You know, Pam, we first start with market research, and this actually started in Abu Dhabi. So it goes way back to Global Rally in Abu Dhabi, where I was meeting with some leaders, and we were talking about the need for a basic introductory skincare system that allowed people to be familiar with the products that they were using, because the steps were consistent with what they were seeing out in the world. But they wanted something that was easy to introduce, that was very accessible. And right then I thought, you know, why couldn't we do a very simplified version of a skincare system? Now, when we talk about basic and simple, these formulas are not by any stretch of the imagination basic or simple, because of all the science that goes in. But we first start by listening to our customers and our FBOs. Then we go out and do global research. So we look at all of the trends around the world. In fact, we've looked at over 60 skincare lines just to do a competitive analysis and to make sure that we are within the world of what is being marketed to our Forever family when they walk out into, walk outside the Forever world into the drugstores and the department stores and the beauty stores. So it's really, then we take a look at all the key ingredients that are trending, the new botanicals that have been discovered. There's always new science, Pam. This is a world that is so fast-paced that even science changes sometimes from month to month. But what we're learning about the way products can interact with the skin, the way your internal supplements can impact the outside effect of your body, we learn so much on a year-to-year basis that we then go in and look at all of the science of skin. We look at ingredients and new botanicals, and then we bring them all back together and we start the grueling process, because Abu Dhabi, I believe, was in 2022 and this is now 2025. So we start the grueling process of creating formulas, looking at the desired results. So this was desired to be a skincare for all types. So we wanted to make sure it had some balancing properties, some moisturizing properties, helping to address certain elements of the skin. And then we go back and forth with the R&D team, our scientists, our chemists, and our doctors to create formulas. And I believe with our moisturizer, we did about 26 different iterations before we knew it was the right texture, the right performance, the skin drank it in, it had the right ingredients, all of the testing that's required. I mean, when we bring in ingredients, it's not just sampling an ingredient, we test the ingredients. So it is a laborious, long process. But it's done with so much love and ultimately care and concern for our FBOs and the safety of their families, their friends, their skin, and everything. And then we work with your team to get the packaging design, the naming, the branding. Regulations is another thing. We sell these in so many different parts of the world. We have to look at what language we're allowed to use. That whole process takes so long, and that's really what the product development process looks like for both skincare and dietary supplements. Testing, science, and then we focus group to make sure that they're right, and then we bring them to market.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting for those at home. You might not know that you go through, 60 iterations of a potential moisturizer. So many, we constantly say that the guinea pigs are us at the office, where we're trying new products all of the time to make sure, because we wouldn't do that with anyone else, right? We want to make sure that they are the highest quality for you.
Absolutely, and that they work, right?
Absolutely.
If we bring out a product that's high quality, that's just one step. The products have to do what we say they're going to do. And they have to function, and they have to not only meet our expectation, but exceed our customers' expectation. And that's the difficult part, because everybody has individual preferences and individual biases. So we have very specific criteria that we test for when we're looking at focus grouping it. And it's a long process, a lot of data analysis, a lot of scientific study. But at the end of the day, I am absolutely confident when we launch products that they are the best quality, the best products on the market. Like, I feel like I can say that right here. They're the best products available today because of all of the science and the quality that goes in behind the scenes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Why would you say that this skincare line is superior to others on the market? What makes it special?
Pam, when we talked about doing a competitive analysis and looking at over 60 skincare lines, we look at their pricing. We look at the size they offer. We look at the marketing text that they talk about. We also look at the ingredients. And I think, I said this at Rally, I think our FBOs overlook the fact, because we're so accustomed to saying, we use aloe vera and it's in the highest percentage in our skincare products. I think that becomes more of a common statement and we forget the value. Why? Because we use aloe vera as the first ingredient. And Pam, in this study, we did not find one brand in that study, not in network marketing and in traditional retail, that had another botanical as a first ingredient. It was always water. And so where we use aloe vera as that first ingredient, that is so much power, because now you're powered by a botanical, but not just any botanical. You're powered by the ultimate botanical, aloe vera from Forever's Fields, in the right percentages. And because it's at the highest concentration, you get all of the benefits that aloe provides in the skin as that first ingredient. So why are our products superior? Number one, we use aloe instead of water. That's out of the gate. Then we control the entire process. A lot of skincare companies, there are some good products on the market, I'm not gonna lie, but they don't necessarily control the manufacturing. They don't harvest the plant themselves. They don't do in-house quality testing. They rely on third parties, and perhaps there might be some elements of cutting corners or some things that they may just say, oh, that's still acceptable within regulations, let's go ahead and proceed. Where at Forever, If it is not acceptable to us, we do not launch it or we do not qualify it. So it's just the way the products work together, the aloe vera, the science, the time, the energy, all of that combined is really what makes us stand out from the crowd.
I think that's amazing. And if there's any of you watching that haven't seen the previous episode where we talked with Adam Wade all about those quality testing processes, I would encourage you to go back and watch it because he dives even deeper into what Holly was just talking about. And it's truly amazing what their teams do and pull off, and that we're so vertically integrated.
It's so true. That's a word we use, but it just, I mean, it means we control it all. From the moment the seed is planted to the time it lands at your door, we control it all. And that is something that's rare today, Pam. Companies just don't do that because one, it's expensive. It requires a massive investment. And quite honestly, if they can do it with somebody else doing most of the work, they're going to choose to do that. And we just don't do it that way.
Okay, well, we have a lot of marketing you might have seen out there around these new products where we talk about easy as 1, 2, 3, and really using this as a baseline for building your skincare regimen. Why do you think that's so important?
Well, Pam, again, you see a lot of people out there promoting skincare products, and depending on the region of the world, if you live in the Asian countries, they'll use up to 7 steps in a skincare system, whereas other countries, they want it to be a little bit more simple. When you look at the foundation of skincare, we want people taking care of their skin, starting at an early age. And you want to start with the most familiar and the most basic of steps, and that is cleanse, tone, and moisturize. So we thought, why not start with something that's easy to follow, easily recognizable, and then customizable, and that's the key here. It's a basic skincare foundation that you now build and add elements based on your skin's individual needs. So for instance, if you have dark circles and under eye puffiness, you add in an eye cream. If you prefer to exfoliate, you add in an exfoliator. But this line allows you to put in the additional steps that you want that are specific to your individual skin concerns while providing the basic system. If you simply want to start using a skincare system, it's so easy. You can't get easier than 1, 2, 3, right? It's just easy.
So easy.
Like it's honestly, what would you say? Maybe 60 seconds max if you work really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so easy to use. It's very familiar, but it allows you to customize using any of the other Forever skincare products and then build from there so that somebody can get exactly what they want and exactly what they need.
I love that. One thing we've been talking a lot too is just how socially shareable it is, right? We know social media is how so many of you do your business. These are great products to share on the social side. Show how you're washing your face. Show those get ready with me videos. This line truly makes it so you can do that with ease.
And quickly too, right? So you can grab a customer's attention, you can walk them through your system in a very, very short period of time. Because let's be real, we all have short attention spans, and while we love to watch what you're using to wash your face, we're kind of like, okay, come on, we've seen it, move on. But these are beautiful, first of all. They're very, very, the packaging, the branding is really elegant when you start talking about the textures, but then you can move through the system very quickly. It's very shareable, and I feel like it's a product line you'd really want to engage with when you're using the right buzzwords. So it's really easy to share.
Absolutely. I think we should talk a little bit about the science of each of the products. And I'd love to talk more about your gel encapsulation system. I feel like this is so unique, and I want you to talk about it for those watching.
So when we talk about our gel encapsulation, first of all, gel, a lot of people think, well, it's aloe vera gel, and that's one part of it. But what happens is when you're a cosmetic chemist and you're working with these formulations, you're working with botanicals that you think all fruits, vegetables, plants, seeds, herbs, nuts, roots, they all play well together because they're natural. Well, they don't. And so you need something like it might sound a little cheesy, but I kind of feel like the gel encapsulator, it's like a big hug that we wrap all these botanicals in. And it allows us to use ingredients like fig and cucumber extract and aloe vera, where typically they don't play nice in a Petri dish. Like if you're looking at them under a Petri dish and you're adding them and you're trying to make them, kind of gel together, they don't like each other. Like the one will be like, I'm not playing over there with that aloe, and it's gonna move away and start to separate. You need something that holds them in form and allows all those botanicals to be placed together in a formula. And then once you introduce it into your skin starts to break down down all those ingredients, and your skin knows what to do with a fatty element or with a water-based element or with aloe vera. It knows where to take those ingredients and leverage the power of those botanicals. But in the beginning, the botanicals don't want to play nice together. So this gel encapsulation technology simply allows us to use ingredients that might choose to separate to keep them together and introduce them into the skin.
I love that because I think so many times we look at a natural product, it has all the natural ingredients, and we assume that they're going to work well together, and that's really not the case at all.
It isn't. Number one, you can't get a long shelf life, right? You're going to have to either refrigerate it or you're going to have 6 months of a shelf life. And number two, not all botanicals play nice together. They don't always smell nice. And so you really, I mean, there's really has to be an element of science when you're creating these formulations. So you're absolutely right.
I love that. Maybe let's talk a little bit more about the aloe gel cleanser and the science behind this first product we have here.
You know, Pam, we've started to do something, and this is your team. You know, we worked with regulatory and we told a great story here, but one of my favorite things is this cleanser contains 96% naturally derived ingredients, and that's a huge selling point. So in addition to aloe being the first ingredient, it is a beautiful, lightweight cleanser, but by lightweight, when we use the word lightweight, I'm not talking that it is a weak product. By no stretch of imagination are these weak products. These products perform in a powerful way. But this is a gentle, soft lather. It's not an over bubbly cleanser. But it has those natural botanicals in it that simply go in, they kind of grab onto the dirt, oil, makeup, and residue from the day, and then allow you to just kind of gently rinse it away without, you know, without any effort. It just, they kind of suspend the dirt and oil and then rinse it away. So it's got just this beautiful balance of botanicals, and we have to use the scientific element as well, those scientific ingredients to make sure that we can give it a nice shelf life so that when it arrives to our customers, they still have time to use it. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful cleanser designed obviously for all skin types.
Now I think too, because it's a cleanser but it's sulfate free, you're not going to see necessarily all of the bubbles that you would for others, right? Talk more about why that's important.
It's a lather. It's not a bubble. Well, first of all, bubbles are more from soap-based cleansers. And a lot of people like the soap-based, and the reason they do is because their skin feels really squeaky tight after they're done, and they're like, oh, I'm so squeaky tight that I'm nice and clean. But what they don't realize is their skin's squeaky tight because it's completely robbed of all of its natural oils because the soap absorbed all of those. So you don't want something that's overly bubbly. You want something that does what it's supposed to do. Cleanser is supposed to remove dirt, oil, makeup, and debris from the skin, but you don't want it to really disrupt the surface layers of your skin. So this gentle, soft lather does exactly that. Not overly bubbly, but aloe vera is a natural cleansing agent. So it actually can create synergy in a cleansing effect because it has natural cleansing abilities. So it's just a really soft, gentle lather that you're going to see it just cut right through that dirt and oil and makeup, rinse it away, but not where you have to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse and you still have bubbles everywhere, right? It's so, that's frustrating for me when I use an overly bubbly cleanser when I'm doing market research. That's not very fun, but.
No, and I love too because aloe is the first ingredient, right? It's not going to feel stripping. You're going to be cleansed, but you're still going to feel hydrated.
Still hydrated, still fresh, not stripped, not squeaky clean, fresh, moisturized, and ready for the next step.
Amazing. Hey, let's look at our next product, which is our Balancing Aloe Essence. Maybe even let's talk about what is an essence, what sets it apart from a toner.
We talked about this, Pam. You'll recall in our office we were saying, you know, what should we name it? And when you look at the texture, a lot of toners are either alcohol, witch hazel, or other astringent type based, which are more like a water base, right? They're more of a really fluid product. This actually mirrors, again, going back to those Asian roots where some of the beauty trends have emerged. An essence is a little bit thicker, or what we call a more technical term is viscous, which means there's a slippery feel to it. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little more luxurious, and it's not something, you certainly can use it both ways. You can put it on a cotton pad and use it after you cleanse, but also you can just pour a little bit into your hands and simply just press it into the skin because of all the benefits. Yes, it acts as a toning feature, so it can help with your pores and it can help with that second step, but it also rejuvenates and replenishes the skin and supports the moisture layers of the skin. So it's a dual purpose product, but the essence elevates it in its texture. And then if you're in those regions of the world where other brands are using essence, it's a step up from a toner, right? It's something that's got these beautiful moisturizing botanicals, has balancing effect in it, but it's so much more than a toner. It's a toning step, but the product itself is called Essence simply because of that elegant texture. It's a velvety texture. And your skin, once it drinks it in, I mean, your skin reflects exactly what it is. Your skin looks amazing, so.
I love this. And one of my favorite claims around this product too is our natural ingredient claim and the ingredients that we have in it. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, 98% naturally derived ingredients. You know, it has, our FBOs are going to recognize some of these ingredients because they're not necessarily new to our products, but we've learned the synergy of these ingredients in relation to the skin and in relation to the step. So when you're looking at a tone step and you're using this essence, you want a green tea that acts as an antioxidant, something that helps the skin defend itself from environmental assaults. And then we've got cucumber fruit extract, which, you know, you have the movies where you see people sitting with cucumbers on their eyes and you think, well, why would they be doing that? Well, cucumber fruit extract is so amazing because it's so soothing and hydrating, and that's also an ingredient here. And then of course you've got aloe, so when you feel it, it's a little slippery, almost like you can feel the aloe vera in it, but it's just a beautiful formula.
And do you feel like it's safe to use morning and night? I feel like sometimes traditional toners you use once a day versus twice.
You are absolutely right. This is a system that is gentle enough to use twice a day. In fact, we highly encourage you to use it twice a day, morning and night. The more consistently you use it, the more consistent your skin is going to reflect the results of the skincare. So absolutely, it's gentle. It's just use it morning and night, all 3 steps, follow them religiously, and you won't, your skin's going to thank you for it.
Absolutely. Hey, and last but not least, we have our Soothing Gel Moisturizer, and we even have soothing in the name. You talk a little bit about those features?
Soothing Gel Moisturizer. So this will be a familiar name, and the texture is going to be somewhat familiar because we've had products in the past that our FBOs know and love, and we also understand how difficult change is. And so when we're taking systems and we're kind of evolving them with new botanicals and new technology, we do like to keep an element of what's familiar in them. So the texture is somewhat familiar, and that soothing gel moisturization, it will be somewhat familiar. This again is a lightweight moisturizer, but what makes me so excited, once we handed out all of the samples and people had bought the kit at Rally, I had so many people come up and say how wonderful their skin felt and how they were surprised by the moisturizer because it felt a little bit lightweight. It's not a really thick, heavy, dense cream. It is truly it's a gel moisturizer. So the skin drinks it in, but your skin is soft, not because the product is sitting on the top of the skin, but because the product goes into the skin and reflects out those benefits. So it's a lightweight moisturizer that packs a powerful moisturizing punch. It's so fantastic. And I believe, Pam, too, this is also made with 98% plus naturally derived ingredients. And, you know, I'm actually going to toss to you a little bit. You've been interviewing me. I'm going to throw you in the spot.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk to you. We've actually used a new term called clean formulas. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why we decided to go in that direction. You and I worked closely on that. So what might that mean to our FBOs?
What a great question. I think when we're looking at clean beauty standards and what's really relevant in the marketplace, honestly, Forever is already doing that. You already have those ingredient standards. We've already been meeting those quality assurance guidelines. And so really what we're doing is trying to help you attract a new customer that's interested in those things and really talk about it and put it on the marketing materials. But really, we've been doing it as a company all along.
We really have. You know, customers will go in and they'll be like, oh, clean formulas, that sounds great. We've been doing that for a very long time, but we wanted to make it relevant to new customers, as you said. So there's no added fragrance in these formulas, right? A lot of people feel that fragrance could be sensitizing to their skin. And while that's not always the case, the belief is still there. So we chose to eliminate and not add any fragrance to these to accommodate those customers. And I thought clean formula is a great win because we have been doing it, but then our FBOs now have something visible to show the customers that are out shopping in the retail place. Hey, yeah, I understand that you're looking for that. We've got that and so much more.
Yeah, we're just really talking about what we've been doing all along,
It's
right?
so
We want to
true.
make it heard from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ingredients in this moisturizer. There's some really special ones in there.
You know, I get really excited about this, Pam, because that's when the R&D team, our scientists, our chemists, our doctors, that's when the conversations get really fun, is when I get to travel around and I go to trade shows and I meet with ingredient vendors and they'll bring out a new ingredient and they'll say, you know, we've got all these studies on this and this comes from this region of the world. This is a baobab seed extract. It comes from a tree in Africa that grows for hundreds of years and they get huge. So if you ever see pictures of people on safari and you see those huge trees in the background, it's probably a baobab seed or a baobab tree. And they actually have a massive pod that they drop, and inside the pod, like if you were to shake it, it's like a rattle, like a baby rattle. And inside are even smaller tiny little pods, which are considered the seeds. And then we actually cold press those seeds and they give us this most luxurious, beautiful, precious oil. And we actually have that in this moisturizer because we know the powerful moisturizing benefits. You know, the skin is both water and oil. So when you talk about giving moisturization to the skin, you're talking about oil. When you're talking about hydrating the skin, you're talking about water. So you have the fatty oil elements and you have the water elements. Well, this baobab seed extract is a fatty element that feeds the lipids of the skin, those surface layer lipids that really give the skin that powerful drink of moisture that it needs. Aloe is fantastic for hydration. So we actually use ingredients that do both functions in our formulas, where a lot of companies pick one because it's expensive to use all these ingredients, right? And they will, again, cut corners and say, oh, it's a moisturizer. We don't need to add all features of moisturization, hydration for the skin. We're just going to call it a moisturizer and give one element of an ingredient. But the baobab seed is just so nourishing and it's so great for the skin. We also have green tea in this, and we also have a buzzword in this formula, which was important, and that's niacinamide. So consumers all around are actually looking. In fact, it's in the top 10 most searched ingredients for skincare on Google right now. And this is just simply a form of vitamin B3, and it's in the formula to help the skin retain its moisture. So your skin is losing water. It's also got those fatty elements that are being broken down. This really allows your skin to retain more of that hydration element. And it's a powerful ingredient, and it's in this formula. So again, it meets what customers are looking for in a lightweight moisturizer that is designed to really powerfully deliver exactly what the skin needs, where the skin needs it most.
I think that's amazing, all the ingredients you've managed to pack into these products and at an affordable price point. You know, you've really made that special.
You know, Pam, that was the goal. The goal was to make it affordable, easily accessible, and easily promotable. So the price point is fantastic. In fact, you can buy the products as a kit, as a system, and when you buy all three together, you actually get a discount. Or you can choose to buy them individually. And they're reasonably priced. They're comparatively priced to what you would buy in a traditional drugstore. But they have such far superior quality. So we wanted to make them accessible to everybody, understandable to everybody, affordable to everybody. We wanted to eliminate all of those, why would I try Forever Skincare? It's just a no-brainer. Plus, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee in our country, so they can take it home and try it. They have nothing to lose and everything, including luminous, wonderful, healthy-looking skin to gain.
Absolutely. And who doesn't want to gain that?
That's right. Who doesn't? No matter what age. This can be used by any age. So that's another benefit, right?
Yeah,
no matter where you are in your life cycle, you can use them at no matter what age. And again, formulated for all skin types.
So that's a great question as far as like using it at different ages. Sometimes when we're different ages throughout our lives, we need different skincare needs or just we have different types of skin, right?
Yeah.
So if we use this as our baseline routine mean, what other products would you recommend to add in there?
That's a great question, Pam. So you can actually add any products from our targeted skincare line. Those are designed not necessarily to address a skin type, but to address an individual skin concern. So all of these products, all of the Forever skincare products were formulated to work together. They're friends, right? They have very similar synergistic ingredients, and they do exactly what they want, what they say. So for instance, if you have a really, really, really starving, dry, parched skin, our deep moisturizing cream would be a great solution to add in addition to that. So you can really customize it, but any of the Forever skincare products, whether it's Infinite by Forever, which is for dry, maturing skin, you could use any of those products combined with this and customize it. But I don't think you should just start with skincare alone to add. I think we should talk about skin from the inside out, because it's really something you can put things on all you want topically, but if you're not feeding your body and giving your body what it needs, you're only doing half, 50% of the effort. So I think we should talk about a couple of like dietary supplements.
I think so too. I feel like beauty from the inside out, very buzzword. You'll see that online everywhere these days. But like, what does that really mean, and what products do we have that can support that?
So when you talk about beauty from the inside out, they're talking mostly about skin, hair, and nails. And we have products that do that, but so much more. So it doesn't just stop at beauty from the inside out. So men, women, athletes, people who are professionals, young people, aging people, anybody can use them. And I would obviously start with aloe vera, because that, when you actually work on the gut, which is the second brain of the body, where a lot of the functions of the body originate, when you get the gut to a point where it's balanced with its good bacteria and the ratio of bad bacteria starts to lessen, when it's nice and clear, when you've got this natural healthy energy levels, when you've got vitamin C, which is known to support collagen formation, all of those elements can be found in Forever Aloe Vera Gel. So before you try to do anything, start with aloe vera gel. This is your best line of defense to help keep that inside moving, so that everything you do topically is just that much more powerful. And you talk about nutrient absorption, you talk about so many benefits. So really, honestly, the best approach for an inside out would be to start with aloe vera gel. And I know that may seem common to you, but hopefully you're going to be sharing this with your customers, or snippets of this that you can go out and say, hey, this is a great product to support your skincare routine, your hair care routine, because when you've got a really nice balanced gut, everything else externally is a little bit better. And then you can't go without talking about our Forever Collagen, our Forever Marine Collagen, Pam. And that is, again, people think of it as a beauty product, but it's so much more, because collagen makes up 1/3 of the most abundant protein in your body. So it's a protein at the very, very base. And so, you've got protein in your joints, your tissues, your bones. I mean, collagen is found everywhere. So I would recommend always aloe vera gel, and at the very least, Forever Marine Collagen as support from the inside out to any skincare regimen. So now you don't have just your basics. You've got a powerful inside out and outside in approach that are made the Forever way, high quality, with all of science, all of the backing, all of the studies, and again, the availability is very wide. It's just the collagen and our aloe vera gel are two products that I just would never consider. In my mind, they're part of my regimen, right? I don't exclude skincare and supplements.
They're not just beauty, they're everything.
No, yeah, but you could talk about beauty as well. Collagen, the Forever Marine Collagen, a great place to start, but always aloe vera, because that one just sets the baseline for everything else to be more pure in its delivery, to be more effective, and it's just, it's a win-win.
Amazing. I feel like, really aloe is the baseline for everything. You really can't go wrong with having it.
You can't, and drink it, and drink more of it. I went up to 1 liter a day, and I filmed a little video about my personal results. I work for the company. I see the product. I see this ingredient every single day. It surrounds my office. You've been in my office. It's everywhere.
It is.
And I thought, I drink about anywhere between 2 to 3 330s. So sometimes I'll get up to 1 liter, but I'm like, I'm going to commit to 1 liter a day for 30 days. And I could not believe it. Even though I train on it, I talk about it, I study it, I'm like, just to have those personal results, I'm like, wow, this is a powerful product. So now it's something that's everywhere. Like if I have that day where I'm missing my aloe vera, I notice it and I look everywhere I can to make sure that I get it in. So drink more aloe. That's the greatest place to start.
I love that. Okay, well, we've talked a little bit about the new products, but if you were with us at Rally, you might have seen some hand sampling we had going on outside of the Rally store leading up. And we want to talk a little bit about that as a business tip for you and sales tool, because hand sampling can really be so powerful. Yeah. So Holly, you did a little bit about this in your training presentation too. Maybe walk us through what that can look like.
So when you're talking about products, a lot of times our FBOs, they get so excited and they want to sell. This takes it from selling to sharing, and it allows a customer to have multiple touch points with our product. So when you do hand sampling, first of all, the very first important thing you need to do is to have them compare their hands. So you want them to look at the backs of their hands. You want them to look at the texture. This part of the hand right here, Pam, is the most sensitive part of your hand. So if ever you're feeling your skin, don't go like this. Use these parts of your fingers. They're the most sensitive. So have them feel the textures of the backs of their hands. Look at the skin, like look at the texture, the color of the skin. Look at your veins. Notice the color of your veins. And make a mental snapshot of what those two look like. And then you can do the hand sampling, walking them through each step, and you can have them do it on their own, or you could do it. Now they have two touch points, right? They have the visibility of the product. They're either holding it and using it themselves, or they're watching you apply it. They're feeling the texture. They're getting that experience. So now you have two touch points. Now you're walking through all the benefits of each product as they're looking at it. Then they remove it, and then you go to the essence, and then you go to the moisturizer. And you only do it on one hand. Then you have them look at both hands, and the results are so visible. It's, what's the word, Pam? Demonstrative.
Both of them work in this situation.
We'll talk about it. It's immediately visible. They have a direct relationship to a forever product, the application, and the results. And you can literally do it in just 2 to 3 minutes. Like, it takes hardly any time. You can draw it out if you'd like, but the experience is very quick. And then you can use the statement. You can say, look at the results that you got after one time using these products. Can you imagine a week of using them, a month, and a year, how amazing those results are going to look on your skin? And that's just something that's so visible, and it's that wow factor. It takes a little bit of time. They've had multiple touch points with the product. They've seen the direct visible results in relation to our forever products. It's a no-brainer. They're going to want to take them home, right? They're going to want to keep them. They're going to be like, don't you dare take those back. I want them in my bathroom right now tonight.
I think one of the keys to that too is just one hand, right? You don't want to be applying to both hands. You want them to be able to see the before and after results for each of their hands.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the main key takeaways. Only one hand when you're doing it.
Have them compare.
Yes.
Get a mental vision of what they both look like, so that when they see, now they're going to see it. They almost don't have to, but it does give them that prep to say, okay, I'm looking at the texture. I'm looking at the thinness of my skin or the thickness of my skin. Then when they see the visible, it's just, they know exactly what to look for. And it's shocking sometimes. People are like, like their hands, just one hand's glowing and the other just looks dead and, like very sallow and flat. Right? But you see their eyes light up and they're like, oh my goodness, that's such remarkable results. And then, it's really easy to promote the products that way.
Absolutely. And put the set in your purse, like how you're going throughout your day, whether you're going to lunch with someone or going to pick up your kids and you're talking to another parent. Like, there are so many opportunities throughout your day if you just have it easily accessible. So make sure you're carrying it with you as well.
Absolutely. And you can carry them with you on the airplane now because they're all travel size. So they're all under that limit. So you can actually, whenever you're going on a vacation or you're going to spend time with family, pop them into you can carry them on and you'll have them with you at all times. So it's a great point, Pam.
Awesome. Well, I think that might cover it for Logic by Forever. There's so much about these products to love, and we hope you have enjoyed this deep dive with Holly about the behind the scenes, the development process, all of the science for each of the ingredients. And we hope you're going to pick them up and try them out and share them with your team.
Please do. Run, don't walk. If you have not ordered them yet, if you're waiting to run out of another system, why wait? Your skin is going to benefit the moment you get them. So order them today. Start promoting them. I know this is going to gain a lot of traction, and our FBOs are going to really be able to build an additional segment of their business with these products.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, sending big hugs and loves.